Grand Prix Birmingham was the first Premier level only standard event since Dominaria was released. It's our only chance so far to see what the best players did with the format with big money on the line, and holy smokes, a lot of people played Black-Red. 15 out of the top 32 and a mind-numbing 6 of the top 8 decks were Black-Red Vehicles decks. In case you're not familiar with Black-Red Vehicles, here's the baseline. All 6 decks that made top 8 contained 4 Goblin Chain Whirler, 2 Pianalar, and 4 Scrap Heap Scrounger. They also all contained at least 3 Heart of Kirin, 2 Chandra Torch of Defiance, 2 Walking Ballista, 2 Abrade, and 3 Unlicensed Disintegration. This rough outline is a good enough base, I think. Heart of Kirin's going to be a pain until the day it rotates out of Standard. It's a vehicle, so it dodges Fumigate. It has Vigilance, so it can't get sealed away. It's a Legend, so it can't get cast down. And it's a 4/4, so you're not taking care of it with Lightning Strike or Magma Spray. The range of removal spells that destroy Heart of Kirin and don't cost more than the heart itself is really narrow. But let's say your opponent's playing the removal that deals with Heart of Kirin. You know what those cards are pretty terrible against? Scrap Heap Scrounger. Man, Scrap Heap Scrounger's annoying. It hits hard, and it keeps coming back. To deal with Scrap Heap Scrounger profitably, you need a totally different set of removal than the ones that deal with Heart of Kirin. That's a big part of what makes this Black-Red deck so powerful. It demands a lot of different types of removal from opponents. Chandra and Karn do a good job of crewing Heart of Kirin and also generate card advantage on their own. Now that there are much less Scarab Gods floating around and therefore less Vraska's Contempt, Planeswalkers are a more resilient threat than ever. Of course, this whole archetype doesn't even seem possible without Dominaria's Goblin Chain Whirler. In Rivals of Ixalan Standard, a lot of 1-toughness creatures saw play, and that continued into last weekend, and Goblin Chain Whirler was waiting for them. A veritable creature sweeper attached to a 3/3 first striker proved too hardy for aggressive decks to overcome. Aggro decks packing Abrade could usually be relied on to keep Heart of Kirin in check, but thanks to Goblin Chain Whirler, that's simply not the case anymore. As a result, we've got one of the mid-rangiest standard formats in recent memory. Walking Ballista does a decent enough Goblin Chain Whirler impression. It's just a really versatile card. It's good against everything. And this deck in particular takes good advantage of artifact synergies, making Walking Ballista a no-brainer. With the rise of all the artifacts, particularly vehicles with toughnesses that stay out of range of the typical removal, Abrade's stock has really risen. The star of this color combination, though, is Unlicensed Disintegration. It's not a mana-efficient way to destroy a 2-drop, but it's unconditional removal with a Lava Spike tacked on. Those of you that remember casting Blightning need no convincing that Unlicensed Disintegration is awesome, but in case you're not sold on it, just remember that you're getting damage in big chunks when you play this deck, and 3 damage attached to a removal spell? That can easily swing a race in your favor. In summary, Black-Red Vehicles is chock full of powerful answers with a suite of proactive, efficient threats that all demand different, specific answers. The reason it performed so well last weekend is because Standard doesn't really have a deck that can effectively answer them all. But maybe you think there's another contender for the title of Best Standard Deck. Let us know what Standard Deck you think is primed for success in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time!